Hello everybody, I'm Sam. Are you in good luck or bad luck these days? Have you ever thought what determines whether a person will live a good or miserable life? We are all from different civilizations and cultures, but today I'm going to introduce from Chinese wisdom's perspective what determines whether a person lives a good or bad life. From mystical angle, ancient Chinese believed in 9 dimensions that determines what a life a person will live. They are number 1, fate, number 2, luck, number 3, feng shui, number 4, karma, number 5, education, number 6, name, number 7, appearances, number 8, mentor, number 9, health. Ancient Chinese interpreted these 9 dimensions with superstitious views, but today I'm going to interpret or reframe it from a scientific angle. So now let's go to the number 1, fate. The greatest fate of an individual lies in their parents. Parents pass down genetic traits that initially shape approximately 80% of a person's life potential. Most perceived talents are fundamentally inherited from parents, such as exceptional intelligence, remarkable memory, or even the energy you possess. Some people possess greater mental stamina and resilience against fatigue. We all have people around us who are far more energetic than others. If not, think about the CEOs of the multinational companies. At the same time, some negative talents such as poor memory, limited energy, or attention deficiencies often create lifelong challenges across various endeavors. Beyond biological hardware, parents also install initial softwares in their children, like the cognitive frameworks, how you view the world, how you interact with others, how you solve problems. I once saw data that says 62% of Silicon Valley entrepreneurs actually originate from the top 10 most wealthy families in the United States. So I think this data also demonstrates how parental influence can define or shape a person's future. So we can understand the fate as initial parameters inherited from parents, like the hardware and software we mentioned before. The predetermined parameters tend to stabilize over life trajectory. Many middle-aged people acknowledge that they start to believe in fate. One reason is that, given the initial parameters they inherited from their parents, if they live their life again, the critical choices they make will be very similar to those which lead to their current position. Of course, parents' influence is much more important than that. Now let's go to the next most important dimension, luck. Isaac Newton was born in Ming Dynasty, and his masterpiece, Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, was published in the Qing Dynasty. In the total 600 years of Ming and Qing Dynasty in China, there was no scientific master in China. But we all know the 4 great inventions of ancient China profoundly shaped the world civilization. How come there was a vacuum in the 600 years? That's where luck comes into play. Talents need luck to shine. At that time, people respect government officials. In order to be a government official, you need to spend 20 years in literacy and poems and so on. The people would spend efforts on scientific areas. Those scientific talents may not get enough resource and attention to develop a result. That's why we say your talents need to couple with right timing and environments. That's also true today. We need to endlessly try everything, because if you don't go out and try, luck won't come to you. In addition, if you only want to make a modest income, hard work is enough. But if you want to make a big fortune, just hard work is not enough. Luck comes into play, and it is more important. The bigger the fortune, the more important the luck is. This is why billionaires, as they become older, they tend to attribute more and more their success to luck. Because even if you got great talents, you still need timing, opportunity, and so on. This is all about luck. Now let's talk about the second one, feng shui. Feng shui is a concept which you shape the environments where you live or you work to help bring luck to you. It's usually associated with one's ancestors' tomb, one's living environments, one's working environments. It's associated with how you move the position of a furniture to bring luck back to you. The feng shui concept is about the small environments around you. I want to extend this concept of feng shui to a bigger environments. Previously, not long ago, Chinese government officials organized a roundtable meeting with private entrepreneurs we realized that the majority of the entrepreneurs actually come from Zhejiang and Jiangsu province in China. These two provinces has been known for its prosperity and wealth for 1,000 years. This is not surprising. We all know a person's birthplace has a big influence on his life. A place, whether it's conservative or it's open and progressive, will subtly influence a person's future and his life. I'll give an example of an ancient Chinese saint, Mencius. Mencius' mother moved their homes 3 times in order to provide a good education environment for his son, Mencius. At first, they lived near a cemetery where Mencius imitated funeral rituals. His mother thought this was inappropriate, so they moved to a marketplace. There, Mencius began imitating merchants and bargaining. Still unsatisfied, his mother moved them again, this time near school. Here, Mencius started imitating students, became polite, and developed a love for learning. His mother was finally satisfied and decided to settle there. I trust you will find similar examples around you in your culture or in your country. The point is that the environment around you is very, very important. Always find or shape the environment around you to be a good one, to be a better one. Number 4, the karma. Actually, I don't really understand karma before, but over the years, I've gradually come to understand it. A person might accumulate a lot of wealth by doing evil. There are only 2 ways to acquire wealth: create it or steal it. However, if the wealth is acquired through improper means, the consequences of the past actions will eventually catch you. You might get away with 1 or 2 evil deeds, but if you do too many, there's no escape of it. That's why we see so many tycoons end up with bad endings. In fact, the entire show of Breaking Bad is about this. Evil doings have consequences. Some of these consequences you have to bear yourself, while some others are borne by other people. Anyway, bad doings have its consequences. You will not escape, it will eventually catch you. Moreover, in sociology, there is the concept of social capital, which refers to the invisible credits that comes from long-term integrity. People tend to cooperate with those who are trustworthy. After all, no one wants to be stabbed in the back. Friends and allies can amplify resources. On the other hand, though, if you do evil, you may benefit in the short term, but in the long term, you will pay the price. This is why we have a saying, Buddha fears the cause. The ordinary people fears the consequences. The essence of building good karma is to walk on the right path, plant good causes, and avoid bad consequences. We want to create wealth, not steal it. Number 5 is about education. It's something that can mitigate or enhance the pre-installed software by your parents. You can always learn knowledge, worldview, methodology, thinking frameworks that your parents are not good at. Education opens a new window for you to change your fate. Number 6 and 7 is about the person's identity, your name and appearances. A good name indeed carries some advantage. According to Hitler's biographers, he believed that part of his election success was due to his short and memorable name. If he had been named something like Charles Meindorf, a traditional Austrian name, he might not have been elected later because people would find it hard to remember. In Indian politics today, there's still a significant political force known as the Gandhi family. However, it's not the descendants of the Gandhi we are familiar with, but rather the Nehru family. Many Indian citizens don't pay much attention to this and often vote for them simply because the name sounds familiar. I also have my own personal example. There's a pretty good vlogger in China, social media world. He somehow put a very strange name for his social media account. So one time when I tried to go back to find his account, I just cannot. No matter how hard I try to look for his name for the social media account, I can't do it. I cannot also to recommend this channel to my friends. I think the name is really important. Putting appearances so far down the list might not be appropriate. Frankly speaking, appearances, like intelligence, is a game changer. Many people don't acknowledge this. If you observe carefully, those around you who are good looking usually marry well or seems to have more people who are willing to help them in their careers. There are also many surveys in the Western countries that shows the result that good-looking people usually walks further in their career path. If you look at the CEOs of those multinational companies and especially the presidents of the United States, Number 8 is mentor. I'm not sure the translation is appropriate, but I picked this word. Mentor, the original word is actually 贵人. It means someone who appears at the right and the critical timing and give you the exact help that you need desperately. Anyway, let's use mentor for the moment. Having a mentor here is actually underestimated significantly. It should be ranked in higher position. In reality, very few people succeed entirely on their own. When entering a career, it's possible that you figure things out by yourself, but it's always much easier to have someone who can help you and guide you. It will make things much more easier. Another major issue is that people's prime time is too short. Take the software industry as an example. By the time you graduate with a master's degree, you're already 24 years old. And when you reach the so-called clearance age of 35, there's only 11 years. You need to make breakthroughs in these 11 years. If you solely rely on yourself, it's very, very hard to make big achievements. This is also true in other fields. For instance, in business, it's always good to have a few renowned seniors who can guide you through the process and lend you the money when needed. In politics, it's even more critical. You need political resources. It's extremely difficult for you to be successful on your own. If you joined a top companies, multinational companies, let's say, if there's a leader who always appreciates you and guides you, it will make a world of difference. If you want to climb up the ladder, you'll need someone to continuously back you up. As for the number 9, health, I won't elaborate. Reaching around 40 years old is actually an awkward stage. By this age, you have already seen the world, gained wisdom, endured major setbacks. Now it's time to reap the rewards. But for some people, their health can't keep up. It's already worn out. So, maintaining good health is absolutely key to winning in the second half life. To conclude, that's the 9 dimensions from Chinese wisdom that determines how a person lives a life. If you want to change your life, think about the 9 dimensions and see what you can do about it. I wish you all a very good life ahead of you. I'm Sam. If you like this video, please hype, like, and subscribe. If you have any topics that you are interested in, please leave a message in the comment area. I'll make a video if I can. Thank you. See you soon.